Good morning. In the past few weeks, many weeks, we've experienced great sorrow as a nation, some of which have stemmed from many years ago. We also as a community have experienced deep sorrow. I thank God that He has provided us with the Psalm. The Psalms remind us that there's a season for everything, just like it is written in Ecclesiastes 3. For everything there is a season, a time for every matter under heaven. Well, today I want to encourage you with Psalm 47 because it's a celebratory psalm, reminding us that no matter the struggle we have here on earth, we can still praise God as He is Lord and King of all of the world. Now, Psalm 47 begins, "Clap your hands, all you nations. Shout to God with cries of joy." We see right away this is not going to be a quiet psalm. There is a lot of action in how we are celebrating the Lord. Clap your hands, shout to God with cries of joy. What we see is kind of what was represented in coronations. So when a king or queen would be anointed, I'm reminded of 2 King when Joash is anointed by the priest to be king. They placed the crown on his head, and the crowd began to clap, and they would begin to shout, "Long live the king." Well, we're not celebrating Joash, we're celebrating God, that He is on His throne. And this celebration is not just meant for Israel. We see in the first verse, all you nations. In some translation, it says all you people. That is worldwide. That is not just for the Israelites. This is the invitation for all people to celebrate God. Now, why should we celebrate God? Verse 2 gives us that answer. For the Lord Most High is awesome, the great King over all the earth. For the Lord, Yahweh, is Most High. There is no other king of that time, as people would be anointed, that had more power, more anything greater than the Lord. He is the Most High. And the psalmist describes him as awesome. And it's almost like undescribable. Have you ever just kind of got caught up in your own words of trying to describe the Lord? It's undescribable how great He is. He is King over all the earth. The psalmist wants us to know that it's just not one nation. It's all of the earth. And we are invited into that. Now, verse 3 and 4 is where the psalmist is going to have a time of remembrance. It's for when explaining what Israel faced. We are called to reflect on God's faithfulness and His promises, right? And this is the verses that do that. He subdued nations under us, people under our feet. He chooses our inheritance for us, the pride of Jacob, whom He loved. Now, he could be remembering when God delivered them from slavery, from Egypt, or maybe the years of wandering. But this is a time that the psalmist is just reflecting on how good God has been to them. Now, verse 5, God has ascended amid shouts of joy, the Lord amid the sounding of trumpets. Now, the commentaries would tell you that this is reflecting what you would read in 2 Samuel 6. Now, in 2 Samuel, that's when David brought the Ark Covenant in a procession up to Mount Zion and placed it into a tent. So you would read that David and all the house of Israel brought the Ark of the Lord with shouting and sound of trumpet. Do you hear the same language used in 2 Samuel and in verse 5 here? So what are we supposed to do? We're to sing praises to God, sing praises to our King, sing praises. For God is the King of all the earth. Sing to Him a psalm of praise. God reigns over the nations. God is seated on His holy throne. The nobles of the nation assemble as the people of God of Abraham. For the kings of the earth belong to God. He is greatly exalted. Now, in some translation, in verse 9, the nobles or the princes, which would mean the leaders or the people, the leaders of the people of earth. And these would include the Gentiles, that they were to gather just as the people of God of Abraham, right? They gather as one with Israel, just like we would have read in Genesis 12:3. In you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. All of the families, not just of the Israelites, right? What a vision this would be, that all the people on earth could unite as one and serve God, knowing that He is the sovereign King over all the world.